working today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I've discovered that I'm doing all wrong?
What?
I don't know if you're this person. I don't ever look because it's some piece of shit. I don't ever look at like, oh, like these are the ingredients that are in this food that I'm getting.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
I just don't do that. And so my current boss had said, you know, Paul, you need to be very mindful of sunflower oil. Do you know this? Apparently, sunflower oil is like the worst thing that you can put in your body.
What?
Like the apps,
Really?
like, I mean, yeah, it's like sunflower oil, crack cocaine.
Canola?
And then canola
Really?
oil right under crack
Wait a minute.
cocaine.
We're not going through oil. You're saying like in general sunflower oil?
Yeah, like I guess sunflower oil that you cook with is in like everything. That and like this other type of oil that's in like everything. Some sort of like grapeseed oil, something like that. And I'm like, it's really bad for you, allegedly. And
Inflammatory.
it's inflammatory. That's what it is.
Not your statement. Not your statement.
No, it is. We will single-handedly take down Big Sunflower on this show.
Big Sunflower is coming for us. We're getting sued. Inflammatory. This is due to
bad for you.
Yeah. Let's see. It's due to easily oxidizable omega-6 fats. Consuming high linoleic sunflower oil rich in omega-6 fats in excessive amounts might lead to an unbalanced omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, causing inflammation-linked diseases.
Yeah. Tenchi.
So then why isn't everything?
Hello. Sunflower oil, canola oil, palm oil, and grapeseed oil are all awful for the human existence.
Palm oil is like when your skin gets... That's why you can't touch your glasses.
I made that joke earlier at work, Alex. You're not original. Okay. Stop taking my jokes. I said palm oil. Oh, I've got it coming out of my wrists here. But the, sunflower oil is bad for you. My girlfriend hates sunflowers. Also, sunflower seeds get stuck in your teeth. We just need to get rid of sunflowers, I think, is what it is. And why are they growing towards the sun? What do they know that we don't know, Alex?
I think they know that sun is good for photosynthesis. I guess. Yeah. I think they knew that before us. Probably. I don't know.
Maybe they know that this bit has gone on too long. Hello, everyone. Welcome in to Fandom Social. My name is Paul. This is Alex. Autumn will be joining us today. She is super swamped with a ton of other stuff that she's got going on right now. As she always is. I don't know how she even finds time to do this show. Sometimes she's always so busy. But today, it's just me and Ronovich, just, manning the helm here. Daniel will be here in a bit whenever he decides to not be a bum anymore. So
I know, seriously, this guy's real slack.
Alex, we saw you last week, right? How you doing? How you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
What was it last week or the week before?
No. We had Thanksgiving.
Is that what last week was?
Yeah. How was your break? I don't know if you felt like if you're a big Thanksgiving person, but did you do anything interesting for the break?
For the break, I was like, maybe I'll just go to Vegas. And then I was like, that sounds like a lot of money because not like everything was cheap. And I was like, I could just go. But I was like, but then I have to go and then I have to be there and then I'll be there spending money. So I just stayed home, stayed up till 3:00 in the morning every night playing Alan Wake and getting the crap scared out of me playing Alan Wake 2 because it is a terrifying game and I hated every second of it, but I also loved every second of it. Sorry.
Alan Wake, digital laxative. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Let us know what you guys did for Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us. This is an Explorathon episode where we are chatting through, what we've watched, read, and listened to. If this is your first time with us, welcome. This is Fandom Social. We are a fun, fandom-focused social experiment where we talk all things pop culture, where we give you homework. You have to listen to us talk. Doesn't this sound great so far?
I love it.
As two people who have been in marketing for a bit before, Alex, aren't we just really selling it? We, every week we talk different oils that you should or should not be putting in your body. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Seriously, it really, really does help us out. And just engage in the chats. That also helps us out a bit. Even if you have nothing to say and you have these intrusive thoughts that you think we just have to know, put them in the chat. We'd love to know. Me and Alex are probably the right people with the right temperament for you guys to just be as unhinged as all hell. So we would appreciate it.
Unhinged,
we'll go through.
Intrusive. Those are my intrusive. Those are my two go-tos.
That's what you call your fists.
Unhinged, intrusive. Laura, what did Laura do?
Let's see. Laura said, I went to my mom's house in North Carolina, the better of the Carolinas, probably. First Thanksgiving without my dad. A little sad, but good to see the family. You know what? I know it's always a hard time during Thanksgiving when you lose someone. But when I remember when we lost in my family, we lost my grandpa. It was literally like right before Thanksgiving. And we just remember we were all like sad, and my dad was just letting us know. He's like, man, my dad, who had passed, he's like, would be so bored with us all just sitting here. So then we started grabbing drinks, and it's like we just remembered like who you have and not who you lost. And Laura, I hope that the family you were with, it helped make it that much more special. Liza had a very different. She's very sick in bed. It's been kind of going around. I haven't caught like the bug yet. Have you?
No, but what's our rating on the show? Because can I just say like, nice humble brag.
Oh, yeah. You can. We get one. We get one big. We're PG-13, so we get one F-bomb a show.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's say hi to everyone else who's jumped in. Steve, hello. Tenchi, we already said hello to you. He said he forgot what the homework was, but he also watched G-1 instead. I know Alex has watched it. I am going to watch it this weekend because I want to talk about it. And maybe even later towards the show, Alex, we can talk about something fun that me and Alex have planned for Fandom Social as well. But a little more on that later. Great Scott, hello. Amy, hello. Alexis, hello. Janice, hello.
Do we have the same glasses? I don't think we do. Or is it just my face is bigger? Who makes yours?
Let's see.
I don't know who makes mine.
Get us mine. Amazon makes mine. That's where I got these. I think.
Okay.
Well,
sorry. What are you getting them to do?
I don't know either. But Laura says it did indeed sing the family. It was great. I am so happy to hear that. Well, let's move on to the predominant portion of our show, which is we are going through our Explorathon segment, which again, if you're not familiar with it, and this is your first time hearing it, we give you something to watch, read, and listen to. So this week, we had our watch was Surviving Christmas, a 2004 film that we're going to headline the show with because we've got lots of thoughts and feeling. Daniel, you're here. Jump in. I just realized that I was not moving everything, and that scared the hell out of me.
Hi, Daniel.
Cybernet kicking in.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, everybody. How are you? How's everything going?
Well, we just started and we're live. So if you would have been on time, we could have caught up before the show.
Excellent.
Just real quick, what's your take on sunflower oil?
Sunflower oil?
Thumbs up, thumbs
down.
Tough
one. Thumbs up.
Boo this man. Boo this man.
He works for Big Sunflower.
The chats are going to turn on you. We were just talking about, we scripted our cold open, Daniel, as we always do, obviously. And I was talking about how one of my bosses had said, like, are you checking for sunflower oil in your food? I was like, no, should I be?
Should I be? Yeah,
she's like, it's the worst.
It's in everything. It's in everything. He just said,
and you know what? I've been thrown for a loop. I've seen sunflower oil and safflower oil, and I have no idea what the difference is.
Safflower?
Safflower. SAFFLOWER. Safflower?
I think you're making that up.
That sounds made up, and it sounds like
no, safflower oil.
Like when you can't afford sunflower oil, so you get like the RC Cola of it.
It's the Acme brand.
It is Acme.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's bad for you too.
Everything. Just don't go outside.
Hold on.
Slowly.
Water is bad for you. I don't know. Anyways, just air.
He was late because he was buying more sunflower oil. Daniel's part of Big Sunflower.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it. What a dick.
All right.
So our watch was Surviving Christmas, starring Ben Affleck, Christina Applegate, James Gandolfini, and Catherine O'Hara, right? O'Hara? Yeah.
Catherine O'Hara.
Which, thank you, Daniel. Which we'll get into this one last because I think we all have the most to say about that movie.
Think so.
Next, we had our read, which was Seasonal Work by Laura Lippman, which, to be honest, turned out to be the surprise hit of the group. I don't think Autumn actually picked this in our group chat. So I'm a little sad that she's not here to talk about it, but we had actually all I looked at it. I don't know about day. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, like it's fine. The story kicks ass.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty
really
good, which we'll get into. And then lastly, our listen, which was Christmas album by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, which people had some thoughts and feelings about us doing a Herb Alpert album, which like I thought was interesting because I had no idea. Like I didn't know Herb Alpert at all before this. I think
I don't really know him that much either. I worked in the CD store, and so the CD got played.
Okay. So that is the homework that we gave out probably not that long ago. Normally we will do our best to kind of give it to you guys like a week in advance. So you have the time to watch, read, and listen to, but this time, we really wanted it was a pop quiz on this. So let's start with the one that is more upfront and more direct. We're going to start with the listen to, which was the album by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass titled Christmas Album. Do we have like album art for that, Daniel?
I sure do. Let me.
Okay, let's
here. Bam.
Okay, is this not Chevy Chase?
Oh, now that you said that.
Yeah, you kind of ruined that. Now it looks like Chevy Chase.
I was like, Chevy Chase? I don't like you either. What are you doing here?
But can we take a moment to appreciate the rest of the band?
Oh yeah, drip, bro.
That's a fit.
Yeah. They look fantastic. He's a trumpeter, by the way. He's an American trumpeter. That's what it comes up as when you start Googling him.
Yeah, the last like American trumpeter since him to be featured on the Billboard Top 100. A little bit of background about the album. It was a Christmas album in the late 1968 album by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. It was the group's 11th release. The LP edition of the album was issued twice, though. The original edition had the cover photography that Daniel just showed on the front and back sides of the album jacket. Okay, so initial thoughts. Alex, what did you think about the album? And then we're also, just for everyone, we're going to be asking a central question, a main theme throughout the entirety of this episode. And that is, did this piece of media that you watched, read, or listened to put you more into the holiday spirit, or have you found yourself less jolly after you finish with it? Because I have definite thoughts on how I felt after all of these. So Alex.
After all of these.
Oh, yeah.
Should I go straight to answering that?
So let's start with the album.
Okay, so as a person who did not grow up listening to Christmas music, because I don't grow up in a Christmas celebrating household, when I hear a lot of Christmas music, especially lyrics, like I'm like I feel nothing. I feel nothing. I don't get any of the joy. But when I listen to this, I liked it. It was like kind of chill. It was like it's like a familiar song that's got like a and I didn't like a lot of the singing parts. Like anytime there was like a lot of lyrical parts, I was like, God, I'm disconnecting now. But all the instrumental stuff, I was kind of jamming on. So like, strangely enough, for the holiday spirit for a holiday I don't celebrate, I was feeling it. I got some spirit. I have other notes. That I just can't, or do you want me to wait before I?
No. Well, give us a second on the notes, Daniel. What did you think when you listened to the album?
I liked it. It's very upbeat, right? It was a lot of good covers, essentially. I don't know if you call them covers, but yeah, it was good. I will say it kind of felt a little montagey for me. I listened to it at work, and I was just jamming through my reports.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like you're like, what's the little nerd reindeer that got picked on? The little which one's he? The Randolph. What's his name?
Randolph.
Oh, Rudolph. Okay,
Rudolph.
Jesus, I haven't thought about it.
Are you trolling us right now, man?
No, I don't. No, I don't think about Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. I just couldn't remember his name. I couldn't remember the first part.
Randolph is close.
Randolph, yeah. Grandolph, and okay, yeah. I mean, I thought the album was interesting. I listened to it twice. Thank you, Lisa. She said Rudolph. I listened to it twice. It was definitely better on the first listen. I think after I listened to it again, I was like, oh, the album just doesn't like make sense too much. Like listening to it consecutively. So I listened to it on shuffle, like for like a second. Oh, so I guess I listened to it 3 times. And was like, oh, this is much better when you don't have to like sit there and be like and
Right.
hear the songs sort of bleed into one another.
Yeah.
I did have a favorite. I really liked Sleigh Ride.
Oh my
Is that
God.
the one where he sings?
Sleigh
might
Ride.
be.
I wrote that down. That was my favorite as well.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
the
Okay.
opening minute. This is a note that I wrote here, that the opening minute that had some like vocalizations and was like kind of quiet and kind of a build up.
Mhm.
That first minute was like, oh my God, this is like the beginning of an A24 horror story. So after this
Yeah.
minute is over, you're just gonna be like, death is gonna happen. I was like, this is my jam. Sleigh Ride is my music. Anyway,
What about you, Daniel? Do you have any favorites on the album?
I really like the Las Mañanitas one.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
It was a cool. I wasn't expecting that to be on the album, but you know, it was a nice little surprise.
I mean, he's making a buck of all the other Mexicans in his band. He's got to throw him a bone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he grew up in
man.
downtown LA too.
Yeah.
So he's like, I gotta get this. Need to touch other demos. Is how I felt like. But yeah, that rendition was really good. I also like Jingle Bell Rock a lot too. That was pretty fun.
It was chill. It
seems like we all like the second half, like the B side of the album a lot more. The first half
Yeah.
was just like very generic, for lack of a better word. But
yeah,
I'm
it
also
does kind
not...
of feel like here's a trumpet rendition of this song. You know,
Exactly.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
With a flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of like elevator music that you might hear during Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could, and I could dig that. I would rather listen to Christmas elevator music than like regular Christmas music. Although I will say, the Mariah Carey, song that everyone considers a nightmare, like I hear it, I feel pretty good.
It's still a bop,
pretty good,
right?
When I hear All I Want for Christmas Is You, I feel good about it. It's a good
Alex
song.
is like, maybe I'll try this Christmas thing out.
Yeah, Mariah's the one who's making me want to do it.
That's curious. Yeah, I mean, I also watched a little bit of like Herb Alpert's. It's like this like hour documentary with commercials on YouTube about him and his life. And they don't really even touch on too much of the album, but it sort of seemed like this was for a quick buck for sure.
I mean, I can see that.
Like by this point in 1968, like they had that huge run when the dun, 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 dun. I don't even know the name of the song, but I found most of his other work way more impressive and way more just engaging than this album.
But I mean, even like everyone cashes in with the Christmas album when they're like, "Oh, I haven't put anything out in a while. I need some money to redo the pool. I'm gonna put out a Christmas." Like Neil Diamond. That's like me again. That's like me putting out a Christmas album. Like, what do I know about Christmas? I know nothing. I'm gonna put out a Christmas album because I want some money.
Yeah, why not? Hey, pools aren't free, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I will say. So I think if you guys haven't listened to it, check it out. Sorry, Steve, I just saw your joke. I purposely move away from the comments so I'm not distracted. But American Trumpeter sounds like a type of bird.
That's a fact. It might be a bird.
Mm-hmm. I really dug this album, but I wanted everyone to know what Autumn overrode me on what I wanted our listen to be, and it was gonna be oh geez, I just forgot his name. Sauron. Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee had like TS2 metal EPs that are like Christmas metal. I really wanted to do those. So I think I may just do that in my spare time, and then maybe we can just post in the group because that seems very fitting. Have you listened to them, Alex? I know you're a big metalhead.
I have not listened to those. I have listened to some heavy metal albums where Christopher Lee lends his voice to, and he does some speaking over. And you can watch the music videos on YouTube, and he's like this ghost in the background, like speaking over the guitar solos. That I've listened to. He's so metal. He's the most metal person in the world.
I love all of the album covers for them as well. If you guys haven't, look them up. They're great. It looks like the meme that says like graphic design is my passion.
Yeah.
And it's like a frog off to the side. They all look like that. I'm like, dude, you are Sauron. Sorry, Steve. You can afford a graphic designer.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Christmas album by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. So let's move on to our read, which was Seasonal Work by Laura Lippman. Daniel, do we have any graphics or anything for this? I know they're kind of sparse.
Yeah,
but...
not much. I've got the cover of the book, which I believe
Okay.
is a collection of short stories.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I have a photo of the author, Laura Lippman.
Is that a shirt? That looks almost like
that's one piece of fabric.
Yeah, I was like, it almost looks like a super sleek like chef's coat.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, shout out to the turquoise bracelet.
I know, we see. Yeah, like we get it.
Don't shout out the turquoise bracelet.
We get it. You went to Scottsdale, Laura.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the premise of this story for everyone, if you didn't get a chance to read it, which we totally get, it was written in 2017, and it is the story of a family that moves around at Christmas time for seasonal work, but seems to be a bit more nefarious than that. Now, the story itself is, again, a collection of, it is one story in a collection of short stories by Laura Lippman, who is a true crime writer, super celebrated writer all through Baltimore, Maryland, the New York Times saw her. I read another one of her like brief synopses, and it was like this weird collection of captions that made a cohesive story throughout like her like a defunct Instagram for like her like Tom Clancy series. Just go to her website, lauralippman.com. It's on there. She has this like range of novels. She's an amazing writer, which I think you guys can kind of guess how I felt about this story. I really liked it. I am not like I don't really read a lot of fiction. I just don't connect with it anymore. Even like maybe except comics, but I personally really enjoyed this. I felt, I was telling Alex a little bit before the show started that like the first couple paragraphs, I was like, oh my God, like get to the crime. But I'm just impatient that way. And then once the story sort of kicks into high gear, I was like, oh my God, the story just burned through for me. And I just don't read that way. I don't read fiction that way. I get bored, and I was not bored. So, Daniel, we'll start with you. I know you'd read it. What did you think of the story? And we didn't even answer our question.
About what?
About the album. Did it make you less or more jolly and excited for it?
I answered. I said it made me more jolly.
Did? What about you, Daniel?
Definitely more jolly. This one,
okay.
It was just very upbeat. You know, it got me into the groove and the spirit of things.
Okay.
If I heard that at TJ Maxx, I'd go crazy.
You go wild. Yeah, we'll start throwing ass somewhere. Respect. Okay, so moving back over to Laura Lippman, maybe we can answer the question up top on this one, Daniel. Did it make you like? Where did it put you perspective-wise? Into the Christmas spirit.
Definitely less so.
Yeah.
The ending. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be spoiling it here, but the ending definitely threw me for a loop.
We can say spoilers, everyone.
Okay, spoilers. When it is revealed that the little girl is kind of in on it at the end.
She's a criminal. Yeah.
She's a criminal. I think the math, she was like, what, 14? So, I get that. I feel that. It was really good though. But definitely like after I finished it, I was like, oh, she's the bad guy here.
She's the bad one.
I spent the whole story feeling bad.
But like, I know. I wish I had a book so that I could have been like the whole time just like, the hell was I feeling sorry for this little girl for? But it was fantastic. What about you, Alex?
It's my turn now. It actually didn't change my Christmas spirit, surprisingly, because I mean, as a Grinch, I was already a Godzilla minus one, but it was I didn't see her as a criminal at the end. I saw her as like not as a nefarious criminal. I saw her as like, she's like, you know what, like, don't come here and judge my life. now I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me, it was like, like the opposite of like, well, now I'm not doing it. Like now she's like, well, now I'm doing it. Like I felt like she wasn't there, and now she's like, you know what? This is the only life I know, and now that it's under threat, even though I talk about how much I hate it, now that it's under threat, I'm gonna do something about it, and I'm gonna partake. You know what I mean? So to me, like, she wasn't like, this nefarious person. She was just like, these are the circumstances I was dealt, and now I'm gonna stop backing off, and I'm going to lean into it. So you know what? Christmas spirit raised.
Well, okay.
I don't know what I'm saying.
No,
I
me
like
neither.
I like the book
Great.
a lot.
So Janice did the homework. Janice, you were gold star. That's coming from Alex, though. He provides the gold stars. Sarah's doing anything for her siblings. Liza failed the homework. Her dog ate it. Her dog is also a criminal. That's a federal crime. And Tenchi said it's a crime of necessity. Yeah, it's like what is I know Alex's favorite character from The Office. And Autumn, this one's goes out to you. And it's, where Andy says in The Office, where they ask him, like, would you steal a loaf of bread to feed your family? And he says, I wouldn't steal a loaf of bread, and I also would not let my family starve. So
yeah.
That's the same thing. So let's summarize a little bit the story through the ending so people can get caught up, and then we can decide as a group how we feel and if this has made everyone less or more jolly. So I'll do my best. Alex, feel free to hop in if I'm missing any crucial details here. So you find out that the family, it's from the perspective of the oldest daughter. She's one of four. She's on the road in a new town with her stepfather. We find out that her mother has passed, which I felt like was an unnecessary detail. Like, I couldn't find out like why like she felt the need to. That's the only thing that I felt was weird in the story, where she explained to us like how her mother had passed. And I kind of felt like that took the air of mystery out of it from me. Like
but the thing is, it's got to solidify how deeply the stepfather is willing to scam.
That's true.
What
he's got his hooks in them.
What he's willing to lie about.
Yeah.
To sell the scam.
So essentially, the family moved from town to town within different parts of Texas. And they run a grift. And what the grift is the father goes shopping for holiday presents. And then what I'm assuming breaks his own window, his own minivan car window, beats it up a little bit, and goes to their pastor, which they do at every town. They find themselves a church, tells the pastor, I had all these gifts for my kids, and someone broke into my car and stole them. And then the pastor calls in, or whatever church figure calls in to the local reporter and says, you gotta get over here. There's this horrible story. Reporter comes in, which is where the story starts, sort of interviewing the children, taking pictures, and we come to find out that again, it's all a grift. There's no shopping. No one broke into it. And sometimes it's not even the pastor who calls the newspaper. Sometimes it's just the stepfather. Gary is his name. Yeah. Well, one of his names.
Is it?
Yeah, is it? So that's the grift. You're up to date on it. Where the story starts getting interesting is they are in what town? What town are they in this latest iteration of it? I forget.
I forget too. It's something Texas.
Yeah, they're in some part of Texas.
Oh no, they're in Maryland.
Maryland, yeah.
They are in Maryland.
Right. Oh yeah, because they go from Baton Rouge and they went to Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and then they went all through Texas. So they're in Maryland. And something happens that's never happened before. They have this woman who is a part of the school system, because the father calls. It's another part of the grift where he calls and he enrolls them for about 8 months. They're actually in school. So he actually does try to make sure that they don't miss too much school, but it's all part of the scam as well. They kind of just want to get their faces out there so that people can see them as part of the community. Hence, going to church, calling the pastor, getting them in school. And they find themselves going to food banks and soup banks. So we find out that the Stepfather calls to do his normal song and dance where he tries to enroll them in a school. But the twist this time is that the mother, that the woman who's on the other side of the phone actually shows up at their hotel after the news has spread. People have sent them gifts. They've sent them, what did they send them? They sent them like
iPads,
gift cards,
electronics,
toys.
I
love checks.
I think that this show and this network is leaving money on the table. I think we could make this work.
Yeah.
I'm the mom.
We have a blueprint.
We do. I'll be the mom. No one has to know where I'm at.
Yeah.
And you guys run the grift.
Okay.
I'll do it. Make that work.
Daniel you're the youngest, right? So you're
so.
Yeah,
so you'll be
design is my passion, so we could fake some.
Daniel's like the
daughter, like the superstar daughter.
Yeah,
you're the superstar son with all. Clearly going to be a model.
Yes,
that's you.
Give me a minute. I can cry on you.
Yeah, there you go.
Do it, nerd.
Do it, nerd. Cry on cue.
So, anyways, away from our ramblings and back to the story. So, the woman on the other end of the line shows up and she claims that she's from the school and says, are you guys going to stay here? Because if you're enrolling, I need a little bit more information. And so he says, and she grills the stepfather, which is not something that he has ever gotten, which seems like the 7th or 8th time, maybe less, that they've run this grift, which it's probably less because that's years. I mean, she started when she was younger. So
I think she was 9 when she started.
Oh, 9. Right? Yeah, she's 15. So this is like their 6th place.
Yeah.
So essentially we have the woman on the other end of the line just grilling the stepfather and grilling him, asking him what your permanent residence is. Oh, you need a job? I've got a cousin. I've got a friend. And she basically stops taking no for an answer. And father gets fed up and says, you know what? I promised the kids I'm going to take them to the movies today. He didn't. Maybe they were going to go see Godzilla -1.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
So he was going to take them to go see Godzilla -1 or Saltburn, which probably are not appropriate movies for children, but he's not a great stepfather all the same. And he promised them, which he didn't. And then he actually ends up taking them. But he tells the oldest daughter, Alex in this scenario, that he needs her just to stay back. So she stays back, and who strolls up but the lady from the school, which is not a lady from a school. She's a private investigator who is researching, who is looking into the family on behalf of the newspaper and behalf of one of the reporters. Takes a little girl, which seemed a little illegal, but she's also 15, so whatever, it's fine. Yeah. Took her to a bookstore, talked to her, says, we figured out the grift. We don't know we all know what's happening, but she's sort of like giving her like the egg on, like the egg on, like, are you gonna admit to it? And the daughter more or less does, right? More or less does admit to it without saying like, yes, my stepfather is doing this thing, but she's basically doing like believe what you want to believe. Like, I don't, she's kind of gaslighting this PI.
A little bit. Yeah.
And so they have this conversation at the bookstore, and it inevitably ends up with the private investigator saying, look, here's my card. One of two things is going to happen. I am either going to call, what she says, like CPS, and tell them what's kind of going on here, or I can come to your father, PI to man. We can settle this however they don't really explain what the plan was going to be if she confronted him.
I think she legitimately like worked in town and was going to get him a job and like try to force him to settle down.
Oh, that's how you read that, huh? I didn't. I thought she was going to try to get him arrested.
Yeah, I thought she was going to expose him.
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell because I was reading it. I was like, wait, the bookstore, didn't she say her cousin had a bookstore? Like I was mixing up the PI with the actual person from the school. Because remember, the person from the school is like, I'll get you a job. My cousin owns a bookstore. I was like, oh, maybe your cousin like actually owns a bookstore. Like I was just, because I thought the local newspaper hired her, so she was a local PI, and she was like, yeah, I thought she was like, come on, let's do this. Let's settle you down.
No, see, I didn't read it that way. I felt like she was just a PI who was just being a big fibber the whole time.
I think she was a PI. Her aunt actually did own the bookstore, but she was just like throwing that in as part of her like cover story as like, I'm from the school, we can help you out, get you, some resources and all that.
But also at the same time, I'm like, what does a PI care about, getting someone arrested or getting someone anything or anything? Like, she's being hired to do one job, figure out what the scam is. After that, like, what does she care? So if she cares,
she has holiday cheer, Alex.
That is true.
Holiday cheer. How's everyone doing out there? Are you following us?
Yeah.
Are we good? I'm this is a brief audition for Audible also. It'll just email me back.
We're telling the entire story.
Yeah, we are. So if everyone out there is good, let us know. If not, you can just blame Daniel. That's fine too. Yeah. So Daniel just keeps talking over us. Okay. So before we got it, because this next, the latter half here is going to be the big reveal, which I thought is pretty good.
We need a jury for this, and you're the jury.
Steve says it sounds like a Law and Order SVU thing. A little bit. The ending is pretty good. It's so she hands her the card, says one of two things are going to happen. You're going to call, you're going to give me a call, and you're going to tell me what to do, essentially. Do you want me to talk to your father, stepfather, father, and we'll sort this thing out, and maybe we'll get him a job in town, like Daniel and Alex are saying. That's what they think would happen. Or I can just call CPS, and we can let the court handle this. Yeah. So she says there's a payphone right around the corner. Just walk over there and let me know what you want to do. Just give me a call. So drops her off, and it essentially, the last line of dialogue they speak to each other is she just probably looks at her and says, "I'll call." And then there's very little text after that. But we come to find out that the little girl, the 15-year-old, Alex in this scenario, told her stepfather everything and basically mapped out how not to get caught again and said, you were slipping up here. They know what the minivan is. You were using the same turn of phrase that you were using pretty much in all of the other cities, which is how they caught you. They caught you by the registration. Your names are too close to one another, and basically said, well, this is how you cannot get caught. And she said, well, in just 3 years, I'll be 18, and then I can take care of my siblings. And who knows, maybe I'll slit my stepfather's throat. So there's not a lot of love there, but I think she kind of respects him a little bit for at least getting. No, you don't think there's a respect there? Oh man, I read a different. I am not convinced I'm good at reading.
Okay. When you're sitting there, you're like, and maybe I'll cut my stepfather's throat while he's sleeping. That's not a sign of respect. There's no respect.
Well, not. No, because
that's no, I know, but I'm saying is that's like a stab in the back. I don't think there's any respect there. She just knows, Paul. She just knows that the only way to keep her siblings safe, her family safe, is currently this person, because she's not 18. She can't do anything. She's got no legal right to anything. Once she turns 18, she doesn't need him anymore. She doesn't respect him. She thinks he's a moron that's getting her family in this whole situation in the first place. He dug the hole for her family that she now has to live in, and she's going to do anything she can to keep her family alive. That's what I get. Oh, Janice. Janice.
Very well said. Janice says she doesn't care about her stepfather. She just doesn't want her siblings to be taken away from her. Once she can take care of them, he is useless to her. That's very true. Yeah. So
dirty shirt.
We have, we have the very last few lines of dialogue, which I think are the most important and maybe very indicative into the mind of the 15-year-old girl, who's also we now we're just chatting about this. Her name is Kyle, which is what Gary, the stepfather, but her real name is Kyle. So we were wondering, is the 15-year-old girl actually like a 15-year-old boy? And part of the grift is Kyle grows his hair out. Is it just added to the layer of mystery, I think, to that. So read the story.
Opening up with the description of like, my hair is cut like this, and I'm like, then it makes me think like, oh, was it always supposed to be cut like that? Were you always supposed to be like, did your father?
She said her shirt's too tight. So maybe he bought like a young girl shirt for a 15-year-old boy.
Right.
I didn't read it that way. Because she kind of mentions in the beginning about her sister. She mentions something about like the little sister, the one that's like super pretty, just super adorable. and she says that she hates it when little girls have boy names. And I think the kid's name was like Barrett or something like that. So I think maybe that was like a little bit of like internalized self-loathing because her real name was Kyle. I mean,
Okay.
That's how I was reading it.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an
possible.
interesting take.
That could add a whole new layer to like the grift, the lie, the complexity of it all.
So
I can't keep track of all the lies.
Jeez, I know. It sounds like that UFO Senate meeting. I don't want to get into it. They're out there. They're real. So we get towards the end of the story, and she says, maybe I'll slit my stepfather's throat, and someone will be convinced that someone broke in and killed him. I love the last little bits are so great. It's like, maybe people will feel sorry for us. Maybe they'll even give us money.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. Perfect way to end that. Because that's how she's lived her entire life. And it would be the perfect way to cap off her stepfather's life, who has run this grift to essentially be given gifts based off made up turmoil and made up scenarios for him to actually die. But then, basically to Anakin, she's going to like Anakin Skywalker him and, essentially just get rich or, there can only be two. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was an interesting story. Clearly we liked it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. But yeah, it did not add to my Christmas spirit at all. It detracted from it.
I don't know, man. A good old slit throat and a bunch of presents. I mean, it makes me happy. Like Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Jin has an interesting take. I don't know. Jin Edwards says, I don't know, maybe the too small shirt is more of the stepdad thinking of her as still a young kid and not seeing her as a developing woman.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Or
that's a good.
The simplest explanation, as Sherlock
Reptilian?
Holmes would say, just I'm going to put you in this worn out, too tight for you shirt, so that people feel more and more bad for you when they put your picture in the newspaper.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
So it's a simple explanation, but I like the reptilian.
Dress for the grift that you want.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was, can we bring up the book again, Daniel? Seasonal Work by Laura Lippman. I really recommend checking out her other work. She's a fantastic writer, specifically if you like fictional crime stories. Seems great. So that's a great recommendation. Thank you, Autumn. So finally, we have come to our watch, which is Surviving Christmas, a 2004 film by, starring Ben Affleck, James Gandolfini, Christina Applegate, and Catherine O'Hara. Before we get into this, like, comment, subscribe, say hi in the comments. If you're just watching, let us know. Anything and everything helps us out. We really appreciate it. So, all right, let me read you all the byline for this film. So, a lonely, obnoxious young millionaire pays a family to spend Christmas with him. The film is starring Ben Affleck, James Gandolfini, Christina Applegate, and Catherine O'Hara. The IMDb rating is currently sitting at 5.4 out of 10 out of 26,000 views.
Too high.
I have been very vocal about how much I hate numeric ratings. I don't like letter ratings. I don't like percentage ratings. However, if 26,000 people have come together collectively and given it, which I think we've all agreed, is too high of a rating.
Way too high.
It says something. So a couple more facts on it. It was directed by Mike Mitchell of Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, and Sky High fame.
Oh my God.
I know.
Does he still have a job after those 3 movies?
Sky High is so far the best in the Mike Mitchell trilogy.
Yeah.
By far. By far.
And it was how many people have seen Sky High in the audience? I want to know.
Oh, the audience. Yeah, if you've seen Sky High, let us know. Or Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, which I've completely forgotten about that movie.
I have seen it. That's another one of those movies that drove me crazy because it's another one of those movies that did the Matrix slow motion spoof. Like there was too many movies that did that spoof during that time. I was like, I'm tired of it. Steve Arnold saw it.
Nice. John Gargano saw Sky High.
Jin saw
Jin's seen them all.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Well, if you wanted to just add to this pantheon of talent, who has written and directed for Surviving Christmas, the writers for this film are Deborah Kaplan and Henry Alphont of Josie and the Pussycat Dolls and the Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas.
That's the one I didn't see. That one I didn't see the sequel.
I've seen both of those. I'm curious if anyone here has seen those films. I may be on an island here, but I really like Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas.
No, Sam, I think that's the one with the little alien, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Kazoo, the Great Kazoo. Great Kazoo or Kazoo. I didn't see that one. I saw the first one and I loved it. With John Goodman and like I saw that one like 1,000 times when I was young, but I never saw the sequel because I was like, it's not John Goodman. Even when I was young, like 8, however old I was like just grumpy, like recast my childhood. I was a Star Wars fan back when Viva Rock.
This
Vegas
was a
days.
while ago then.
I was the Star Wars fans of live action Flintstones movies. That's what I was back then.
Yeah, Star Wars fans and live action Flintstones people are the worst fandoms I've ever. They're just so toxic.
Yeah.
The way the Flintstones movies were okay. I agree. I didn't hate them. But when Alex liked Star Wars shows back in the Stone Age, the Flintstones age, it was about the same time.
That's the joke he was making. Come on.
I know, but I said it live. So this is an interesting film. Let's obviously
I took a lot of notes because I was watching this movie was akin to like when Ben Shapiro was furiously writing notes watching the Barbie film.
Barbie. Once again, Alex has made comparisons to himself being Ben Shapiro is all I'm saying.
I'm just saying I wrote so many notes on this. I was furiously writing notes on this. I'm like,
I also took notes.
I had a field day. All right, let's start easy. Subtract or add to your holiday spirit, Alex?
I wanted to go back in time and stop humanity from coming together in the in the mitochondrial ooze so this movie never happened. That's
the little mitochondrial ooze. Like, I think that was just outside Cincinnati, right?
Yeah. I was so upset. My Christmas spirit was, for so many reasons, destroyed. I whatever Mariah Carey brings to Christmas, this is negative 10 Mariahs.
We have a scale now.
Scale. Yeah.
You know how like all the 90s Power Rangers used to do like the anti-Red Ranger but they would do anti-Blue Ranger and they would all fight each other.
Yeah.
This is fighting within Alex's consciousness with Mariah Carey. What about you, Daniel?
It was rough. It broke my Christmas spirit. But at the same time, I kind of enjoyed it. Like, once you get past how truly awful it is, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's fun hating it.
That's how my girlfriend would describe dating me. Once you get past all the bad parts, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
What okay, yeah. So obviously, same. I didn't really enjoy the film. Some interesting things that I think will help color your perspective of the film. So the film was originally storyboarded by Jon Favreau back in 2002, but he passed up on directing the film as it was. He kind of gave the who made this monstrosity?
I have no idea.
It was Daniel. Yeah, you'll look it up. I think it was
right.
No, oh goodness, I can't think of the name of the company right now. They're pretty big.
Want the little guitar in the beginning, the little guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. Yeah, it's DreamWorks.
Did I get the theme right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I think it's a harp, dude. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know. The house that the Minions ransacked.
In the comments, was it a harp or was it a guitar? I need to know what people think.
Okay, so Jon Favreau did a brief storyboard for this film back in 2002, but he passed up on directing it because he had another idea in mind, and that other idea in mind was Elf.
Oh, thank
So,
God.
Yeah,
it's
They're
interesting.
doing a very different timeline at that point. Like,
and it was because, and it was funny. And it was just worked out this way. I was having me and my totally real girlfriend. I swear to God, she's real. We're FaceTiming, and she was watching Elf, and I was like, "Wow!" I could kind of hear it in the background. Mm-hmm. And then I looked up and I read that the storyboard was kept by DreamWorks for the film, and you can kind of tell that it's like Elf Light.
It's not Elf Light.
I can see that.
Elf Light has some hope to it, and I don't like Elf, by the way.
Well, that's just wrong, but it's fine.
It's fine. I don't. But this does no justice to Elf. This is not Elf Light. Elf Light that's a crime to compare it.
Well, Alex, before you start poo-pooing on it even more, it was nominated for an award. In 2005, it was nominated by the Razzies for Worst Film of 2004.
Oof.
Are you Razzie?
Deservedly
so. It didn't even win.
It didn't even win.
Oh,
I can't believe it. It's so bad it can't even win a Razzie.
It was nominated, but yeah. So also that was the guitar was written by John Williams. Yeah.
For the DreamWorks thing? Oh, cool.
That's pretty sick.
And it was a guitar, so not a harp.
Yeah, Daniel, we can figure that out.
Getting called to task.
So
this is actually just a big sticker on the wall. It's not real.
It is. Oh. It's like those Fat Boys stickers, the old football ones.
The shadow and everything.
So, okay, Alex, let's start getting into your notes because I know you took some notes. The film is not very good. It stars Ben Affleck, who is, for me, the worst part of this film. And I like him. I like him quite a bit in some of the stuff he does. He was a few years away from doing Argo and these things that we, The Town, all these things that he became really famous for. But I wrote down one note, and that is, I never want to see Ben Affleck smile again. It's
when you said that to me. When you said that to me, I just kept sending you gifs of him frowning. I was like, it's like a palate cleanser because his smile is haunting.
It is. He's I don't know what the word is. Like he's not charismatic. Like I've come to that conclusion. I don't find him to be charismatic in the way that I'm like, oh, he's charming, because he's trying to be charming in Surviving Christmas, and he is not. Like. It is really weird.
Can I say it feels like a Ryan Reynolds impression, like a bad one?
Yeah, I could see that. It's not,
I
could see that. And I wonder if he was like a first pick too, Ryan Reynolds, because sometimes you notice when you watch a movie when you're like, oh, this was definitely written for someone else. Why is this person? I'm trying to remember that movie. There was a Ben Stiller movie that I was like, his sidekick was supposed to be Jack Black. Jack Black couldn't do it, so they hired another guy. What the heck is that guy's name? The one, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I was like, why is Philip Seymour Hoffman acting like Jack Black?
Yeah, yeah. Who Philip Seymour Hoffman incredible in his own right, but like you're not Jack Black. Like
you're not Jack Black.
Yeah. Now imagine Jack Black as Plutarch in the Hunger Games, which might actually work.
Yeah,
just a lot more air guitar.
Yeah, but
when she did the fire and she was like, oh god, I can see it. I hate it. So
yeah,
okay. But I mean, can we agree that James Gandolfini and Catherine O'Hara are pretty great in this? Actually,
yeah. Oh yeah, they were great in this.
They're literally the only reason that we would ever recommend watching that movie would just be to see them. Like James Gandolfini's funny, and he was 2 years away from wrapping up The Sopranos, and he did this movie.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
At his height,
maybe the pitch was great.
Maybe. Or maybe he just wanted to be in a movie with Catherine O'Hara. Because listen,
maybe.
Listen, here's the thing. It's like, again, it's like Frank Langella being amazing as Skeletor in a movie that's terrible, right?
Yeah.
Like they came in. They're like, we are consummate professionals. We are amazing at our jobs. This dialogue is terrible. The story is terrible. These things are very problematic that they're telling me to say to us to say to each other. But you know what? We're gonna do it like Like, we're gonna bring it. We're gonna bring it to this terrible movie. So I can agree that they did a great job. But man, I have so many notes.
Can I put up a photo? This
please.
is. I feel like it
God.
encapsulates how we all feel about Ben Affleck in this movie.
Oh yeah,
deservedly so. You know
that actually, I was still slightly enjoying, like, when James Gandolfini, like, when he came on screen, that scene, I'm starting to enjoy it, and then he nails Ben Affleck with and I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying this movie now. I was out of it when it was like all Ben Affleck. Now I'm into it. Then it just took another dark turn.
Yeah, and you know who is in it? Jennifer Morrison, who's in, like, I think she's, you know, very noticeable in House, is probably where a lot of people know her from. Dead Center. Thank you, Daniel. Dead Center.
Do you mean James T. Kirk's wife? I mean, sorry, not James T. Kirk. J.T. Kirk's mom in the Kelvinverse Star Trek. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, was she in that?
Yeah. She played James Kirk's mom.
Is
George
that a Star
Kirk's
Trek?
wife.
This is
That's
a Star Trek. Okay.
This is Star Trek.
So let's talk about a real cinema. We're talking Surviving Christmas, Alex, please.
Yes.
It was an interesting, another interesting cast. Like the whole cast is pretty good. You really look at it on paper, right?
If you say to someone, Paul, like, dude, I watched this Christmas movie, and it had Catherine O'Hara, James Gandolfini, Ben Affleck, can't remember her name, and Christina Applegate. I'd be like, wow, let's go watch this movie just based on the casting.
Which is how they sold it. They said, we've got a Christmas movie with Ben Affleck, Catherine O'Hara, and James Gandolfini, and some other people. They're like, sold. And we've still got Jon Favreau, who at this point wasn't really in anyone. He was, I mean, he wasn't even close to doing Iron Man yet, which, let's be honest, kind of put him on the map. I mean, as a director at least. And so it was an interesting pitch for this movie. I also watched the trailer, and they do the thing, Alex, which we've talked about, which we can maybe briefly hint at. We've got an idea for another different type of show that we're going to be doing, but they did the thing that we hate in trailers, where they have scenes that are not in the movie.
Oh,
hate it.
It's an entire scene where they're dressed up like elves. James Gandolfini, all of them. Watch the trailer. They're dressed up like elves, and it is just not in the movie, which I was like, okay, I'll watch this grumpy old mobster in an elf suit. That sounds great. All right, Alex, what are your notes? You know what? We're almost
getting close.
time. Just start rifling through your notes here.
Right through. It's a happy Christmas song, but everyone's miserable. Jokes about grandma committing suicide. Lulls.
Yeah.
All the
love
lulls.
that.
Love the lulls.
Yeah.
I know you hate me. I hate me. I hate my own guts. What a great delivery. What an awful line. The romantic wrap up between James Gandolfini and Catherine O'Hara. If I were to leave, I wouldn't know where to go, so don't leave. Okay. That's how they resolved their entire relationship, that he was going to leave because he wasn't into her anymore sexually. James Gandolfini looking like this
James Gandolfini.
Yeah, no, he looked like a version of James Gandolfini. Yeah, look at this version of James Gandolfini. This is not the sexiest version of him, and he's going to talk smack about what Catherine O'Hara looks like in this movie. Get out of here. And Christina Applegate, what a waste. Why was she angry?
Yeah.
Why was she cynical? What's wrong? Where does she come from? What's her career? What does she do?
Where did she go?
Nothing. She shows up, and she's just like this weird moment. I don't know. She's just a weird plot piece. I don't know what she is. Anyway, sorry. I have a lot more about all the messed up lulls.
Rifle through them. Let's just hear them.
Okay. The understudy for Doodah, the grandfather, comes in, and he's a black man.
God.
And what do they make him come in and say? Is sweet Jim Jiminy cold corn in the morning. I was like, oh my God, someone told him to say that. Where is it? Oh, Tony Soprano walking in the kitchen. And obviously, he's not Tony Soprano. She's going to view, but Tony Soprano walking to the kitchen as Ben Affleck's eating the last piece of salami, and all I could think of is like, I want my gabagool. Where's my gabagool? That's all I could think about.
That was a bit of a hat on a hat where they were like,
Yeah.
hey, remember, people are still watching The Sopranos, and this show's going to be on forever. So do a salami bit. And it's like, jeez. Like,
do a salami bit.
Ham-fisted.
Let's see. I wrote that the four main
edit that
producers
out.
were all. I said the four main producers were all women, so Barbie saved feminism. But one of them, one of the producers, Betty Thomas, was the villain Velda Plender in Troop of Beverly Hills. She was the evil troop leader in Troop Beverly Hills.
Oh,
So,
that's
and
how they got their
then
representation at the time. They're
yeah,
like, we have 4 producers who are women,
yeah.
probably. I don't know. They're like, I don't read the call sheet.
The synopsis about like, oh, he pays a family to spend time with him. Like, no, he indecent proposals a family to pretend they're his family. He's completely unhinged. It is psychotic. And then, of course, the joking about a minor getting solicited for sex by adult men on the internet when he makes a throwaway joke about. He's like, I would have taken all those bus tickets from those guys. Like,
yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
And then how his mom ended up on a porn site, Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, his mom ended up on a porn site. Telling Christina Applegate you're an El Salvadorian maid Consuela, and he talks to her in Spanish. I'm like, lols, all the racism. Oh,
that was rough.
You could just be like my certain relatives are like, it's a different time.
Yeah,
it's a different time.
It's a different time. It's a different time. And then of course, 10 out of 10, Catherine O'Hara is gorgeous and perfect, and I love her. Anyways, that was
okay. So very good. Do you need a break? You some salami?
Yeah. I need some gabagool.
So what I wanted to proposition, and I guess indecently propose to everyone as well, is if you're good. We basically just wrapped up the film. I mean, if you're like us and you like to like hate watch stuff, then knock yourself out. This is the right place for that. It's on Amazon. That's where I watch it. If you have an Amazon Prime Video, you can watch it there. Or if you really just want like the VIP package of hating yourself, you can rent it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck still gets a check like $14 a year, and it's gonna be from this show of people recommending that. He's like, the hell?
Yeah.
Sudden spike in rentals.
So what I want to do is let's proposition everyone about how much money this is, and like, would you let also they call him a millionaire? And, well, let me. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Ben Affleck offers the family up front $250,000, and then throughout the course of the film, through many ho-dads and shenanigans, the price gets up to another $100,000 to $350,000. Put on the hat. Basically telling him, like, he also tells him, like, you got to do all these dumb things because if not, it's a breach of contract. You ever heard of a contract, Alex?
Yeah. Broken, breached.
So $350,000 today would be about $570,000, over $500,000. Is that enough money? We're going to ask everyone here to let a stranger spend a long weekend with you and your family over Christmas. Alex?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you're no better than anyone in the film.
No.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no better than anyone in the film. That is not true. Okay, I would not be telling this person, like, by the way, I mean, again, I'm making fun of the way Gandolfini looks. Like, okay, looking like me, if my super hot wife, and I was like, I'm not attracted to this broad no more, I would not be telling Ben Affleck this. Yeah, I'd be keeping it in. I'm like, oh, you want Christmas cheer? You got it. You want some turkey? You want a little ham? I'll put on an elf hat. I don't care. I don't have pride like that. Give me the money and get the hell out of my life.
It's 4 sleeps. 4 sleeps. That's it.
4 sleeps. That's it.
Yeah.
That's nothing for 350. Easily done.
Laura says Ben Affleck looks deranged. He looks deranged throughout the whole movie. It doesn't stop looking deranged.
Yeah,
I didn't get a snippet of it, but yeah, when they take photos with Santa and he's like really forcing a smile or something.
He looks like that. Like,
yeah, deranged.
Like, it's really weird. And there's that moment, and it's in the trailer. If you guys just go and watch the trailer, that's everything you need to know in the movie. My least favorite Ben Affleck moment ever, hands down, is from this movie. When he says, he's like jumping, and he's like, this is squeaky. And he's like, we call this the squeaky stair. And he's like says the lines through his teeth, and he looks so scary. And I'm like, we know who's writing this. The geniuses behind Viva Rock Vegas. And I'm like, the whole movie is absolutely deranged, and it's not great. Steve says, I need to see the contract. Also, a brief aside here. The person who gave them the contract is Mr. Mosby from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yeah.
Who was also acquitted of manslaughter. Did you know that?
IRL.
IRL was acquitted of manslaughter. Was driving along complicated and hit someone, which again, we can't hold it against him, but it's still like, once you know that fact and you watched everything after, again, it's like, it's a little weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of
a little strange.
Yeah, that movie is a Pandora's box of strangeness and awful. You open it up and just Ben Affleck's teeth just flying at you.
It is unfortunate. So that is essentially how Ben Affleck looks the entire time. He doesn't even really look like that. His hair doesn't look like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks, that's it.
Yeah. That's yeah. He's absolutely unhinged. And Christina Applegate. What a waste. What a waste.
And even in this, she's pretty good. Everyone but Ben Affleck.
I think he's the worst part of this movie. I feel like you could have popped any other actor in and probably gotten something a little more serviceable.
Yeah.
And you white, you Ben Affleck, so they could have gone anyone.
White, you Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. I'm not Ben Affleck. You white, you Ben Affleck. Tell him, Wheeler.
He looks like the Joker in every photo. The really makes you. Also, I do it in December. I unapologetically love Hallmark movies. They will just be on in my apartment. I love them, all of them, because it's like they know what they're doing. I also wrote, I don't have my phone on me, but I wrote the budget for this movie is. Did I write it down? Damn it, I didn't. I didn't write it down on our document, but it was like $45 million.
Damn.
The budget for this movie.
Just give me that and rent my family for Christmas. Like,
I thought you were just gonna stop. Just give me that.
Yeah. There's so many better ways to spend $45 million. That's what I think about when I see a really bad movie. When someone's like, why do you care so much? I'm like, when I see a really bad movie, I'm like, there's a lot of better ways to spend $45 million.
Yeah. And you take 45 million and then you're like, Christina Applegate was probably like 5 million. She got paid to do this. Ben Affleck, maybe 20. Right?
20
now you're
million?
like,
Just coming off of,
10.
off of Daredevil.
10. Yeah. He was. So maybe he's 15. Maybe he's 15 million. So now you're at like, I don't know what. Someone do the math for me. I mean, now you're at 20 million. Now you've got 25 million left to play with. You got to convince Catherine O'Hara and James Gandolfini. Be like, we need to each do this for $5 million. And they're like, okay, well, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to show up. And I think that's what happened, because a lot of it, James Gandolfini had expressed in an interview one time that he didn't have a good experience on this film because there was no script. A lot of it was improv. There was actually like a post-mortem video that someone did on this movie who was on set. And it had said like this was his first movie. I don't have the name of it on like right now, but there was just a ton of delays. And James Gandolfini was upset. Let's see. I have
Hollywood DVD autopsy. I'm reading.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm reading that. I don't know. Hollywood episode. I don't know. I just pulled up an article. But
out of context, that's hilarious. I don't.
Okay. Anyways, I'll look it up because that's next.
These Hallmark movies are made on about are made on average about $3.5 to $8 million a movie, and they pump out they pump out like 5 or 6 a year. They don't pump out that many, but they're all the same, and so they're just recycling the other ones, and they go and do color correction. Yes, I'm serious when I say that I watch these. So it's a whole industry. It's a whole Well, I mean, like Daniel, like you've worked in and around film. Like, imagine your entire career is color correction, lighting, and scripting for just Hallmark movies. It's never ending.
And like the work is so consistent, right? Because like you said, they're pumping out like under 10 every year. But that's still like there's footage that they'll borrow from other movies, or stock footage is a thing too. And it's like
there's a lot of stock footage.
I'm so sorry, cats are fighting. There's stock footage, but it's a whole industry of just the Hallmark movies. Like you've got like music videos as an industry. There's like worship, churches and stuff as an industry. Hallmark is its own thing. It's got its own network of like directors, producers, teams that will just go to like Vancouver and shoot for 6 months.
That's exactly it, Tenchi. He said it's good money and it's consistent work. I would work for them in a freaking Hallmark minute, which means over 4. I would sell out so fast. I would get to work with I just brought her up. She's in a lot of those movies. The girlfriend. She
Missy?
Jennifer Morrison.
Jennifer Morrison. She pays her mortgage off those movies, man. I'm telling you.
Good for her.
She's been in a ton of them. Her and Orin So Pasty. Yeah. They do like get every once in a while like an ethnically ambiguous lead who's like, they're like, oh, is he Hispanic? They're like, I can't tell. They're just like, okay.
That's what they're looking for in the focus test groups.
Yeah. I'd read that someone that this is a real story that because so many of these take place in the snow, one of the casting directors had said, well, we just weren't sure that ethnic people like snow so much, so we didn't want to be untrue. And so I mean, they're not wrong about me in specific, but I was just like, it's okay, whatever you have to do to justify it, just keep pumping them out and keep Jennifer Morrison in work. So
anyway, surviving Christmas.
So surviving Christmas, we survived surviving Christmas, everyone. Congratulations. And that is our Explorathon for today, which is November 30th, our last show of November. I hope November was kind, everyone. Coming up quick on December here. We've got almost a full slate of shows, I believe. Let me see. We should be good. I know the end of the month, I'll be in LA, so I won't be around to do your little show, but maybe Alex and Daniel and Autumn will be around to hang out with everyone.
Our little show, yes.
It says on an ethnic snowstorm. Daniel, that would be the name of our next family gathering with all the Hernandezes. Ethnic snowstorm.
That's the name of your Christopher Lee cover band. Ethnic
snowstorm.
Hello, Wisconsin.
Oh, they are not happy to see us here in Wisconsin. We gotta go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you. Again, like, comment, subscribe in the Lights Facebook group. Let us know. Again, Ethnic Snowstorm will be in Bemidji next week. We're not going anywhere near Northern Oregon. That's for sure. Here's Ethnic Wonderwall. So thank you all so much for watching again. We'll let you know our next show is what day would that be? That is the 7th, the day Hanukkah begins. So start your Hanukkah with us, everyone. Ethnic
Very nice.
Good start to the season.
Good start to the season. So that's our next show. It's gonna be a pop culture news and headline show. If that changes, we'll let you know. But you guys are here and social. Like, subscribe. It also helps if you comment after the fact, just to sort of get those engagement numbers up. We'll just be very transparent. It helps. So thank you.
Actually,
all.
We got to boost those numbers.
I'm going to ask for. I'm going to request that in the comments after the show is over, or maybe in the Facebook group Fandom Socialites, I want to know what everyone's number one band was for
Spotify Wrapped.
Ooh,
and I want to see if anyone can guess who mine was, because no one's going to guess who mine was.
Is it someone that everyone would know?
I don't know.
Oh well,
Damn
okay.
I feel like everyone should know them.
Is it Ethnic Snowstorm?
It's Ethnic Snowstorm. You got it.
You are in 0.1% of the top tier of Ethnic Snowstorm.
Listeners. Yeah, I would love for everyone to, after the show is over, either in the comments after the show or in the Facebook group. I want to hear what everyone's Spotify Wrapped top 5 and their number 1 was.
That's a great idea, Mr. Aronowitz. Well, everyone, thank you all so much. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Go watch Godzilla -1. I hear from a very trusted source that not Squirtle too, but Alex, that it's very good. I've read nothing but good reviews. I think I'll be watching that this weekend, as well as Murder at the End of the World. If anyone's watching that, that's on Epic.
Yeah,
pretty good. It's a little bit of 9 Perfect Strangers and meets Mr. Robot, which I really dig.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah, if you guys have watched any of those 2 shows, either one of them, you'll really dig this show. Daniel, what about you? What are you watching or reading? You can leave the people with.
Invincible. Just started Invincible season 2.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, that's out. I'm reading what was the name of it? The 3-Body Problem, in anticipation of the new Netflix series coming out. It's a sci-fi. It's good. Yeah, okay. 3-Body Problem. It's really good. I'm like about halfway.
Sounds like what everyone's got on this show. That they're like, oh, look at all these 3 bodies just continuously talking. Sorry, that joke got away from me. They can't all be winners, everyone. What about you, Alex? What do you leave the people with?
Again, Godzilla was such a fantastic movie. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Oh yeah,
completely shocked me with where I had no idea. I didn't read the synopsis. I just went and watching it. It is not what I thought it was going to be. It is 100 times better. So Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Scott Pilgrim on Netflix. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It completely takes off, and that's those are my recommendations. And
sick.
And I'm still reading Patrick Stewart's autobiography because I'm a slow reader. So not a slow reader. I just do a little at a time.
Well, if you didn't spend so much time reading about children committing crimes with their stepfathers, maybe you could finish this book. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday. Same fandom place, same fandom time. And remember, if you see a stepfather out with their children, tell them do not watch Surviving Christmas. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So